another day, another van build. Yes, probably wearing the same clothes because who needs to do the washing? If it's going to stay dirty, it may as well stay dirty. But today we're going to clean up the van. We've got the gurney out. We're going to give it a good wash, especially on the roof, and polish up the roof before we put the roof rack and the solar panels on, which is very exciting. Fly. Yeah, it'll be our last opportunity to clean it without taking everything apart. So let's do it.
Hey, if you're new here, we're Ben and Shelley, and we're in the process of building our dream home on wheels. It's not our first van, but this one's bigger, smarter, and a little bit fancy. So far we've soundproofed and insulated, fitted ceiling fans and water tanks, built the ultimate pull-up bed, and sorted a full off-grid electrical setup. With Shelley's dad Terry helping out on the tools, we're slowly piecing together our ultimate off-grid van, one project at a time.
The van is so crooked. We live on almost the top spot on the hill, and it's such a crooked driveway. It makes you realise how much flatter in underneath this new carport is. But anyway, let's do it. I forgot to turn the water on. Tell you what, cleaning a car without the time limits of a car wash, if you know, you know. This is amazing. I think you'll know how to wash a car, so we'll just skip to the end now.
With the van all clean, it was time to get working on the roof racks on which we'll be mounting our solar panels. The main roof rack is designed like so, with a couple of dividers down the middle for strength and mounting the panels on. The front needs to be angled down to match the shape of the van and will sit on top of the van like this, with each of the panels fitting evenly across the rack.
Okay, we've got the basic frame made up for to mount the 3 solar panels. One of the rear fans behind that, one sits here. This front solar panel will have to be, will be on an angle with the front of the roof. Now, I've roughly, as close as I could, I should say, not roughly, worked out what angle we need when we're holding up on the roof and mocking it up. So that's the amount of angle I need. The reason I've made the frame all up first is I will now simply cut this. This is where we want the bend to be. Once I cut the other side, I may have to cut a little bit out yet. We'll see how we go. I think that's going to be very close to what we need. Simply have transferred that angle, wherever it was, onto my bevel gauge as such. So when we put this, it'll be alright. I need just a little bit more. That's about it. So I'll do the other side and then put a couple of spots of weld on it. I'm then going to put the 4 back feet on it. I'm just going to tack that, then put it back up on and make sure it's all okay. Measure for the front feet and away we go. Here we have 1 of 3 of our awesome new solar panels. So these are all going to fit nice and snug up on our roof. These are the new 200 watts Itechworld solar panels. So we're going to have a whopping 600 watts in total of solar on our roof, which is going to power us for days and just, allow us to be completely off-grid and not have to go into caravan parks, hook into power. Of course, we've got our alternator charger, so our DC and our mains plug. We're hoping not to use them, so obviously we'll use the DC, but our main source of power is going to be these bad boys. So they are 200 watts, like I said.
They're really thin. They're only 17 mil and they weigh under 10 kilos or something like that. So they're a really good dimension. The way they fit on our roof, literally it fits within like 20 mil, because we've also got 2 max air fans up there, and we're gonna have 2 max air fan, 2 solar, other max air fan, and then 1 in the front. So the one in the front is actually gonna be on a bit of an angle. So the way these are designed is they come with these little brackets. So because these are so new from Itechworld, they actually haven't got the right size brackets out just yet. Probably by the time this video out, they will be, but I'll go get one. So the thing is, on our van, we wouldn't be using these brackets anyway, and we figured that out. But basically, they just sit on like this, and then all you would do is screw this section into your van. So these fit really well on a flat surface. So if you have like a caravan, essentially, you've got that 25 mil underneath the solar panel. So that sounds a little bit weird, but you need that 25 mil aeration underneath the solar panel. It stops it from overheating and increases the efficiency of the panel, which is what you want, really important. So the reason these aren't going to work on our van is because our van is concaved, like it curves over the top. So you'd have the 25 mil on the sides, but in the middle, the panel would almost be touching if we attached it by this. So that's reason number 1. Reason number 2, you'd have 8 holes in the roof per solar panel. By having a roof rack that Dad has spent the week making, it's custom made and it's looking super sleek. It's come together really, really well. It's super thin and lightweight, and basically what having the roof rack means is it allows us to future proof. So if we ever want to upgrade, I'm not sure why we would need to, but if we ever want to change our solar setup, or like years in the future change it around, we don't have to make new holes or dig around with holes that are in the roof of the van. We can just put new holes into the roof rack. So that's a big positive. These are really good if you have a caravan, but fortunately we have a van. Well, fortunately, I'm very happy with the van. So if you are in the market for some solar panels, a few things to be looking out for are, you obviously want good ones, but basically the old school solar panels, if you had a little bit of shade or something covering like a section of this part, the whole panel wouldn't be any good. So you want the shingle cell. It's very hard to say. You think my name being Shelley, this would be easy to say, but you want that technology in it, the shade proof technology. This is all their latest Itechworld technology. It's really good. We'll put all the stats up on the screen. I don't understand the full ins and outs of it, but basically if a little bit of shade comes on this panel, it's not going to just use its lowest cell, it uses it all and it still stays efficient, which was really important to me. So if you're lucky enough to have a dad like me that can build you a roof rack, or if you have the skills to weld it yourself, I would definitely recommend welding one over chucking it in the roof. We'll jump up on the van and show you why we can't stick it straight to the van. But yeah, we are super stoked. How to get around it. So how are we going to stick this solar panel into the roof or the roof racks without the pre-made brackets to allow aeration underneath the actual panel to make it more efficient? Well, the idea we've come up with, and by we I obviously mean my father, we've come up with these speed nuts. So the idea is, because these are only 17 mil in depth, they're like really thin, which is awesome. So it decreases the weight, the air resistance, all of that sort of stuff. But it's really hard to get a bolt and a spanner in there to hold that in place and screw this in from the top. So these little speed nuts are just going to slide over the edge of the panel, go in, and then the roof rack is going to be on top, and we're going to screw this bolt in through a hole in the roof bracket and put it down here, and hopefully not drop it like I did. But that bolt that I picked up off the ground is the exact height that we need. So this is the exact measurement of our the exact measurements of our roof rack, this plus the solar panel, so this end doesn't go through in and crack the solar panel, which is something you definitely don't want to do. Anyway, let's get up on the roof. We'll show you the roof rack, we'll show you our setup, and yeah, it's going to be really, really sick. We're really excited, and yeah, super stoked to have these new 200 watt panels and a whopping 600 watts of solar. It's just going to be an absolute game changer for us. So you can see these are the holes that are designed by Itechworld to stick on. But because we've got the curvature of the van, we need to have it higher in the middle to allow the aeration. So these nuts are just going to go in like this. It's very hard to do one-handed. The other thing is they're slightly long, so we're going to shave it off so this actually goes in the middle, and then we can just put the roof rack on top and screw in through that, except it'll all be upside down on the van. So we'll jump up on the van and show you how that's going to work. How shiny and new are these? So cool. Weather. It's not very nice. everything. We have a carport. And an unfinished car. How ironic is this? Fitting solar panels in the pouring rain. It has been scorching hot all week, and we do it when it's raining. Oh well, doesn't matter. We got a carport.
So the speed nuts were slightly too big, so Terry cut them down just to fit the roof racks perfectly before fitting them.
So the last piece of the puzzle to figure out is all these adapters, and obviously they go through a hole in the roof into everything else and connect to our entire battery setup. So each panel comes with this pre-connected, and then we've just connected all of these, but let me undo one because we're just having fun with it. So this is an Anderson plug. They connect to each other like so. I don't want to undo the little zip tie just yet because we're not going to do the hole in it today. And then you connect them to one another all through this, all through a lovely system. This is going to depend on how it's all set up on your van. We're not quite sure how it's going to go up on the van yet, but they'll all go through and connect to one. Then we're going to put it through the hole. But what we're going to do, so we don't have to have a hole that's super big to fit the whole Anderson plug, when we only need a hole to fit this red and black wire. So we'll detach the plug, make a hole for this, and then reattach this from the inside of the van back up. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, this is how we connect the power from our solar all through each other into one, which will put power into our batteries and then allow us to run all the appliances that we want.
So the van is all clean. We've just gone through and given the roof a real nice polish. And we've also finished the roof rack up. We've sprayed that all. It's looking really clean, really nice. So about to put that on.
So these are the rivet nuts, so we'll need to silicone around those because these are the only holes other than those big ones that are going in the roof. This roof rack was obviously silver. We've painted it with that fancy paint. I'll put a picture of it up here, like we did with all the brackets underneath for the water tanks and for the surfboard rack. It'll definitely help with rust, and yes, rust proof it, keep it good for the future. Very hard to portray on camera, but the gap here is a lot smaller than the gap in the middle because it is a concave van, so that's why we need this gap and the extra bit of the roof rack to allow some aeration underneath the actual solar panels to increase their efficiency. It's very ironic that solar panels are actually more inefficient when it's super, super hot. So that's another reason why you want the aeration, and just, yeah, to make sure that they don't overheat and keep working well. How good do our fans look? Nice and sleek. They're really good from the inside as well. Mum came up here before to help us get this down, and because I was standing here like fully, and she just stood up and whacked her head. It was clearly just paying attention to me.
And Mum's not that tall.
But she's taller than me. This is so exciting. Okay, so where do we want the panels? All on this side? The cords?
The cords all on that side.
A little bit more. Very close.
Do the back ones first because that's the easiest.
I just can't see what the hole is. Oh, right back there.
Tighten it right up.
So we put 2 washers, a spring washer and just a flat washer on, just to make sure we didn't accidentally screw too hard and ruin the panel. But we don't need the second one, according to Dad. I'm struggling, this is hard. I failed. I can't do it. It's too tricky.
It needs to go.
I hate when I can't do something. Oh well.
Yeah, make sure you...
It looks so good, Dad. It's gonna look so great up here. It's not just me, Dad's gonna come over and do it for us. Look, it's not actually that difficult. You just need to get it in, but because it's in such a small, tight space, it's really tricky and it's quite small. And anyway, Dad's the expert. We'll let him do it. Dad will just fix it for us. What would we do without you, Dad?
Struggle.
We'd have bought a van that was pre-done. It's way more fun. It's a little bit tricky, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
It's just fiddly once you get it in the right spot. So it's difficult to see because of all the reflections, but you can see how much less room there is in the middle to the sides and the curvature of the actual van. So that's why we had to go up on this roof rack to aerate it and also to stop all the extra holes. Pardon?
Aerated.
Aerated. Aerated. Aerated? What's the word? What would you say?
Aerated is what you do with soft drinks and beer and stuff.
No, that's soda.
bubble. That's
Soda stream.
That's aeration, is adding air.
Yes, aeration. Ventilation.
Ventilation.
I would say both.
Drop in the comments below. Aeration or ventilation. I think you get the gist.
Yep.
He's still going. Maybe the master, but it's still tricky. Okay, I'm gonna stop. I'm pushing my luck. Alright, it's time for panel number 2. Let's get it out of its casing. Ta-da! Time to put these bad boys on and get her up on the roof. So there's 4 different anchor points on each side. We've just chosen the 2 that suit us. But yeah, depending on your van, you can pick from any of the anchor points, so you don't need to drill any holes into it. It is very good that it is nice and thin. It does make it slightly trickier to put on, but once it's on, so much more beneficial that it's thin, way less wind resistance, weight, all of that cool stuff. So to make it simpler, we're just gonna try and screw in here to make sure that that gold speed nut is in the right place before we go through the hole in the bottom. Yeah, mine's good.
Okay, yeah. Just drop it down. I'd suggest doing this end first. This bolt first.
Okay. The way it fits is so good, isn't it? Oh yeah, I'm in! I did it! Lucky last one! Okay! Two for you.
I wasn't letting it fall on the panel.
Two for me. So this one's going to sit on a slight angle on the front of the van. So if we face the right side, so obviously, well, not obviously to everyone, but if you do know anything about solar panels, they are actually more effective on, I think it's a 45 degree or 35 degree angle. I'm not quite sure. We have them flat on the roof, so I've never really looked into it. But this one we're going to have a slight angle on the front because of the curvature of our roof and where it needs to sit. So in the right light, and if we're facing the right part of the sun, this should even be more efficient than the ones laying flat. So that's really exciting. But if you see the curvature of the van, you'll understand why we've gone that way. Oh yeah, it's looking like a van now, and then we can finally get started on the inside. So excited. Yep. This one's a bit trickier. It's on an angle, so we have to make sure we hold it. But once it's in, it's really good.
Alright, it's just 1 or 2 of them that are
Yeah,
the speed nut sitting at a funny angle.
it's really hard to get it right. We finally have a roof.
Had a roof all right.
We already had a roof. It's not convertible. Actually, it kind
It
of
wasn't that easy.
It kind of was convertible the other day. We've got a convertible van.
Oh, we need some scissor doors, Ben, eh?
That's the dream.
With the holes in the roof.
With the holes in the roof, yeah.
Just gotta clean it up, but solar panels, roof rack, fans, done. So there's one more thing we've got to do to finish it off. We'll buy a little cap to hide this ugly hole, and then it'll look sleek as. These are solid, look so good. Excited. This is And this means we can now get started on the inside, which is probably the most exciting part, but 600 watts of solar is a game changer. Super stoked. These are so sleek and minimal. Yay. And if you can see the absolute mills we're working with, it is a tight fit, but super stoked. It's just, we couldn't have planned it better. The measurements are perfect. They're so nice and thin, so sturdy, and they're so shiny. I'm really excited to get the inside done so we can connect it to power and see how these babies work. Few mil gap there. Little bit more of a gap there. Then when we come around here, nothing in that. Fingers depth. And if we go back here, again, hardly anything. And then that little black thing hanging out there is our reversing camera. And that just fits. It clears by literally a few mil. We couldn't have planned this roof deck any better. How bloody good.
So now the outside of the van is finished, it's time to get back to work on the inside. Tune in next time as we make headway on cutting, measuring and fitting our walls. See you then.
We are getting there, people. We are getting there.